Oh, it's live right now. We're actually it's going right now. I just press start.
You just get going.
Yeah,
It.
that's really how I do it, bro. You just press play and then just go with it. I can barely see my black ass on that screen. Hold on, hold on. A little bit. There we go. There we go. Now you can see my skin. All right.
Boom.
So yeah, Caleb Jackson podcast. I don't know what episode I'm on right now, but hey, if you see it on the title, go ahead and tell me. But right here, I'm here with Caleb and Alex, who I've really just met within the past few months, just chopping it up. So so they're trying to get into vlogging. Well, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all trying to get into vlogging and stuff like that, and just kind of like content creation. So far, like, what how's it been going? Like, what y'all been?
Shoot, bro. That's Caleb. I mean, he's got. What kind of drone do you have?
I got a DJI Mini 2.
Go ahead, hold that mic a little close to your face. Yeah.
DJI Mini 2.
Yeah.
So, I've always been big into photography and videoing and stuff. So I just kind of got really more into it, and then with my car and stuff.
I'm about to say, you always posting you have Volkswagen, right?
Yeah.
What so do you like put like a lot of modifications on it and stuff?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, nothing crazy. It's stage 2, so just like exhaust stuff, downpipe, intercooler tune.
Are you a car guy?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you're like work on cars yourself and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
everything I do myself. So
Okay.
my uncle has a shop, and we just.
Oh, so that's
Yeah.
easier.
Same with Alex. He has a nice little
Stage
hatchback
2
Stage
Ford Focus ST 2014.
Okay, so y'all just mod it up and just do whatever to it.
Yeah, just work on it, make videos, race sometimes, all that kind of stuff.
In
See-
Mexico, obviously.
Mexico, see, yeah, y'all were because I was supposed y'all invited me, y'all invited me to go with y'all, and these boys were having fun, but y'all invited me to go with y'all, and I've just been in grind mode. So, but how was it? Like, I mean, because y'all used to go like it was like a field trip every now and then.
Every 2.5 weeks,
Mhm.
3 weeks we went. So
And so y'all used to say like it was just different as a getaway, you know, like just especially from like because you were what 24, Alex?
28.
28. Damn, shit.
I'm old.
And then you're 23, and I'm 24. So it's like we're all like I was just talking about before we started. We're all in that like that little stage of life where it's like we're either working or we trying to find something as I say as guys, but like really as just like people, you know, like the 20s are like it's a weird time, especially in our like
Especially nowadays.
yeah, that's what I'm
COVID
saying.
and everything that
Co-
happened is kind of like a
COVID, and then like there's so many different like again avenues that you can take to just find what you want to do, you know.
Yeah.
Besides like we all work regular ass jobs, but then like again we're content creators or trying to like cars, something else outside of just the normal like just 9 to 5 day-to-day stuff that just I feel like with our generation we look more to, because like our older generations, you were more set in stone of like just sticking to what you know and not doing anything outside of what you know, and not shake up the norm. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I feel like with our class of people, like, well, not I'll say class, but like our generation, we're like here to kind of like just kind of just loosen up a little bit and just kind of just have fun with it, but also like have our we have responsibilities and shit. You know, we still get shit done. So.
Sure.
I don't know where I'm going with this, honestly, because at least with my podcast, it's like my biggest topic is that it's more of a thing of like just overall encompassing life, like life and just philosophy, and but I do that through kind of talking to other people and getting y'all's experience and what y'all go through and stuff. So like, I guess first question is like, do y'all have any like life philosophies y'all go by?
Ooh, man. Well, actually, kind of what you got over there. More just like good vibes, good people, good times. Just like as long as you surround yourself with good people and like a good positive mind, like you're gonna have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially
Definitely.
like
And like you only live once kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think going to Mexico and stuff, we were kind of scared at first, or we were like, after the first trip with my dad, it was fun, and we're like, you know what, screw it, let's go back. Like, we don't need to go with my dad or something. We'll just like kind of figure our own way out, and met some people there, and we were kind of scared at first, but we're like, you know what? I mean, whatever happens, meant to happen. So,
Exactly.
Like, if we're supposed to die there, something crazy, you know, like it would happen, but you know, the same thing would happen here. You know?
Exactly.
It's like it paid off for sure. It was really fun.
Do you think that like, and what I'm starting to realize is a lot of like what is told about living here in America versus going to other countries and like living in other countries that it wouldn't be up to par with like what we have here. What would you have to say about that? Like, could you say you could like? I mean, not right now, but like, could you say you could live in Mexico?
Definitely. I think both, like, it's definitely a different culture, but both see, like, complete opposites. Like, a lot of people there are scared to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how we're scared of, like, cartel and that kind of stuff when we go there. Like, that is, I mean, if you go to a bad spot, of course it's going to be, like, cartel and stuff. But it's
Same
as
thing
if
with
you go,
America.
like, to the worst part of Houston, you know? Like, it's the same. We probably have a higher crime rate in a smaller area than they do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad as long as you're with good people and in a decent area. Like, most stuff's touristy anyways, so like you're not gonna really, like, I don't know, it's not dangerous. Like, once you get there and you're like actually relaxed, it's fine. Like, I know, like, the girls complained that we hung out with there, like they were scared to come here because they're like, oh, there's like always shootings and stuff, and like we're scared there's gonna be a school shootings or at the mall or this or that, or we're scared of like the Karens there and stuff, and like we don't even think twice about that kind of stuff, you know? And like when we tell them like, oh, what about the cartel or this or that, like they laugh at us because they're like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not like a normal thing, but both of us see things like it happens every day. So
That's crazy because like people could see that outside of the U.S. and think that that's all we're about. Is that like everywhere everybody's shooting each other and stuff like that?
It's
but
all about what the news puts out.
Exactly. How much do you think? How much do you really think like plays into people's psyche like a lot? Like, I don't know, like a level of like. Do you at least think it's a generational thing again? Like going back to just like between like our older generations and like our generations of like. There's a philosophy of I think I talked about it, it's like Plato's allegory of the cave, but there's another like saying that goes with it, and it was talking about how I can show you somewhere on a map, right? But the only way you can know if that place really exists is you actually go.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like this is just a depiction of what it was. You know what I mean? I don't know what it looks like now. So I guess like with that, do you think that like I don't know if it's more of just like a fear of the unknown when it comes to just people trying to get out there and kind of do things like differently or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess for like y'all just kind of like said fuck it. I mean, like, you know, there's only one way to find out and shit like that. So
No, yeah, we were scared for sure, but yeah, once you get there, just like anything, you know, like riding a bike for the first time, swimming or something, like you're gonna be scared, but then you do it and you're like, oh, that's not bad, like it's easy, and then you're never scared, and then next thing you know, we go back 5 more times. So I mean,
It's good times.
yeah. So both y'all from here?
yeah,
Born and raised.
Called Station.
Straight up.
Oh man,
Wait.
it's crazy because like I'm like with our town and our area, it's like a lot of people who didn't grow up together necessarily, but like, I don't know, it's a weird like I say weird, but it's like it's a melting pot, and like a lot of people. Because most people would be like, oh, their hometown they don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck my hometown and all that shit. Like, especially like with us, it's like there's a lot of groups you can just kind of gravitate towards and still be cool with, which is something I kind of find interesting about College Station. You know, especially like because we went to like across town, different high schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't know each other until now.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm
I
saying?
love you, but we never
Exactly.
Like, hung out, but.
And so I don't know, just time. It's kind of like a time thing, but also like I don't know, like especially with podcasting and stuff, like the way it's going is like I'm meeting more people for just like for this, you know what I'm saying? And like y'all are on the same like content creation, you know, just trying to expand what you're doing beyond just a job or just like, you know, just day-to-day Monday things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like besides cars and like what else, like what like
Man, if it's not cars and if it's not video games, it's like chilling, fishing, shooting guns.
oh, y'all fish too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got some land out by Lake Bryan.
Oh.
I don't know if you know Lake Bryan.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Bass fishing?
Yeah, bass fishing. There's some catfish, but normally it's just bass.
Okay.
But
I
pretty decent size.
I absolutely love bass fishing. I'm a bait caster rod in the closet.
Really?
Actually,
You
yeah.
should go sometime.
Usually, especially around here, it's like you have to know somebody who has some kind of land. 'Cause there's a couple spots where I'll go fishing, and it's either there's no fish or you got like a good 30 minutes before you get ran off. And
Yeah, you should. I think you need a license
Mhm.
to fish in like in the city.
need a license
So
to
cold.
fish.
Yeah.
I'll be damned if someone come and tell me I can't. If I'm at like a public park and someone tells me I
True.
just can't fit, I'm like, bro, who
They
the
do
fuck?
that sometimes, though.
But like, who the fuck am I bothering, bro?
Right.
Leave me the hell alone. What if I'm hungry?
Right?
What
You
if I'm
gotta
a-
catch
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
You can catch and you can
You,
eat.
you can catch and eat,
Mhm.
but it's like you also have to have a license to do that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You should go to Gabbard right here.
I do every now and then.
Okay.
Actually,
Gabbard's
dude, I pulled a at the best like 12 inches, maybe like a pound and a half out of there. I know they have catfish, but people just like there's always kids yelling and like people throw trash in the
A lot of
fucking
ducks too.
a lot of the ducks, and so especially would y'all think that played into like y'all's Mexico's trip as well, is the fact that there's just really nothing to do around here?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bro, like, what do you got? Post Oak Mall. It's horrible.
Mm.
It's depressing. I mean, there's nothing. I feel like in this town to really do unless I mean it is a college town, so you got Northgate and
You can go
everything. But
drink.
that's not really like our scene,
Mhm.
I guess. Or I guess when you're from here and grow up, like that's the
It's-
last thing you want to do.
It got old so fast.
Definitely.
You know, I don't even know if like 'cause sometimes I think in my head I'm like, is clubbing just out of my? It's not what I do, or am I just in the wrong spot for it? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like even going to Houston, like it's all right, but I'm not a big like partier. I guess or I'd rather chill with like a small group of people
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Partying's
Big,
not
yeah,
really my
big
thing.
clubs, like a lot of people.
Mm. So, what we talked about earlier with just the overall, this is what I didn't want my podcast to become, is like the dating podcast and shit, all the toxic shit. And so I guess like, what could we talk about on here that, because there's no way to like, because everybody has their opinions on how dating goes. There's no way to, I guess, not say something quote unquote toxic or what's the word I'm looking for? Offensive or anything like that. So I guess what would y'all say people could do about like dating and like just overall social dynamics to make it easier on themselves?
You don't want to say something
The
offensive, but
hey man.
I'll say this: both men and women are toxic and not toxic.
Amen.
Everyone can be a little bit of toxic and not toxic. So
Find your kind of toxic, baby.
exactly, I would say girls are more toxic. Just saying, but
It's a
just from
tendency.
my experience. But I think equally, we all basically think the same. So
Mhm.
it's all the same.
I think like overly caring and kind of being protective sometimes to girls comes off as toxic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just because you don't,
It's a form of
because you know
respect.
you wouldn't do the same kind of stuff that like, they want to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or just you know how like everyone talks about, or you know girls like to go out party, go to clubs, do all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, and or even if it's like a girls' night and they're just doing their thing, and you know not all guys are cool with that. Some are. You know girls are like, well you should just trust your girl to do that kind of stuff, and it's like I don't know. At the same time, why would they want to do it alone? Like why would they? You know, like if it was reversed and guys got the same amount of attention going out and they were getting free drinks and
Mm.
stuff like that, or constantly had girls hitting on them, I feel like it'd be a little different. But since that's only like a
That doesn't normally.
that only happens to girls mainly, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
they get the free drinks, they get to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of different. So that's why guys are more.
double standard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I think the double standard exists because everybody talks about double standards, and it's like men and women are different. We're not the same, and that's a good thing. That's a great
Yeah.
thing. It's a beautiful.
That's why we're
thing.
attracted.
You know, it's a beautiful thing because like, and I think that a lot of like what gets passed on nowadays, and we all have our own experiences with shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what gets passed on is just nothing but the toxic shit. You know, but it's also I've been kind of coming down to a point of like where it just comes to just being honest with yourself more importantly.
Yep.
And then like once you're honest with yourself and you're just okay with yourself, you'll be able to be okay with whatever else life has to offer you, know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And like, you know, especially like y'all told me y'all stories and stuff like that, just like, and from what you went through, you handled it absolutely amazingly, as opposed to like what like a lot of people would handle it, especially like how it would get skewed nowadays in our society and stuff.
For sure.
I mean, you handled it like, you know, it just shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's always another something. You know what I'm saying? There's always something else to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's really important not to get like too comfortable with things. Like that
Mhm.
was like our big motto, like going on trips and doing
Mhm.
stuff. Like you know, if you're in a unhappy relationship and you get too comfortable and you just kind of settle, like you're not doing yourself or the other person like anything good. So, yeah, definitely what happened to me, I feel like was a good thing.
See-
Got me out of my comfort zone.
See, we talked. Me and my friend talked about this last night after I got drug out to the club. Actually, last night I just wanted to go watch the fight. I literally just went to go watch the fight, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch this fight and go home. I should have took my own car.
With the
but-
Garcia fight?
Yes. Oh, did y'all watch it?
No, but who won? I couldn't.
Oh, Tank won
He did.
round 7.
Damn.
I knew he was gonna win too. I mean, Garcia's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but it's experience every time over age or skill, especially because. I mean, Tank's 5'5.5", Garcia's 5'8.5", and then, I mean, once they actually got to like boxing and stuff, they felt each other out for like that first round. That second round is when Tank started like actually showing him some skill, and like Garcia throws a hook and Tank ducked it and just knocked him on his ass, and I think it said KO round 7. I think Tank caught him with like a left hook to the abdomen. And Garcia was backing up for a little bit, and then all of a sudden just went
and then he
down.
fell.
Yeah,
Okay, I saw that.
it's there was a bunch of people who won a bunch of money from that. Actually, there was a place that was showing it because I think it was $85 to pay for it for pay-per-view. But I paid $10 cover to get in, so I was chilling. You know what I'm saying?
That's not bad.
Yeah, but I mean for a 7 round fight, I mean it wasn't horrible, but yeah. After that, we were talking about. I mean, we got back to home and we were, a little tipsy and shit. We were talking, and my homeboy asked me, he's like, he heard this topic the other day, and kind of what you just hit on. Do you think that being in a relationship too long can make you soft as a guy?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah, in what ways?
Well, for one, you get content with the way you're being treated. So, like in the beginning of a relationship, you'd be like, "Nah, I'm not going to be treated like in a certain way." And then as the relationship goes, you kind of get more soft on that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Definitely happened.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
agree with that. And that's why whenever you're talking about, like, it's important to be honest and stuff, like, I think I've really tried, like, recently to, like, be more open or, like, put everything out on the table about how I feel. Like, if I'm talking to a girl or something and, like, just, like, let them know exactly what I want. Or, like, if you can't put up with this or you don't like this or, like, this is just, like, how I am. So let's get it on the table now. So if you don't want to continue or you don't like it, let's not waste anyone's time. Like, because I'm not going to change. Like, this is who I'm going to be. Like, I'll change a little bit for you in, like, certain ways, but, like, I'm always going to feel this type of way or I'm always going to not be okay with this. So I don't want to.
Don't change who you are.
Yeah, and I don't want to, like, do the whole, like, get upset and then, like, tell you later kind of thing. Like, no, I'm going to tell you now. So that way if you do it, you already know what to expect if I'm upset or something. Like.
Okay. And especially like for me, 'cause I had to go through all the shit to realize what doesn't work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the part that really gets people is that like actually having to go through the shit, and it creates that kind of like negative ass mindset towards everything. And I think that especially just within society, especially what gets passed around like social media, TikTok, all YouTube and all that shit, is just nothing but just like pure toxicity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially just with and they call it the culture, and it's like, what fucking culture is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess, would you say there's any way for it to get better at all?
Man.
I would say, like, less social media, honestly. There's just too many opinions and
Too
stuff out
much.
there that,
Mhm.
like, pull you one way or the other or, make you think one thing. I don't know. Yeah. I guess.
What do y'all think of social media, like, personally?
I think it depends on what subject, I think
Mm.
it's cool. It's really informational. You can learn a lot of stuff on it. There's funny stuff on it, I don't think it's bad, but I think there's, like, a lot of negative things that come with it. Or, like, how we were talking about girls, like, I don't know. I think girls in relationships shouldn't be posting a bunch of stuff of their body or,
Mhm.
a bunch of bikini pics or this and that. And, like some people say, like, oh, if they wanted to post that, they would, or wanted to show their body off, like, they can just send it to you or stuff like that. Like, who are they doing it for? What attention are they doing it for other than the guy they're with? I mean, if you're single, yeah, do whatever you want. But I think there's, like, a certain boundary once you
Level
get
of
into a
respect,
relationship.
Mhm.
And a lot of girls just don't get that or don't like that. I mean, and you can do whatever you want, but, like, that's another thing that I'm like, I wouldn't want that. So
Yeah, and see, I think the biggest thing is like for each person is like navigating as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Because you get told a lot of shit, like especially like about yourself, like, and a lot of people take a lot of shit to heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when it came to like, I wouldn't. I don't know how I feel about quote unquote bullying. You know what I'm saying? I like because some people say like it's constructive, some people say it's destructive, and some people say it's like there's a way to like. Okay, you shouldn't bully anybody. I'll say that straight up.
Yeah.
But do you think that we should bring back a level of shame in society,
There should be more
or there should be like a certain
accountability.
like, a certain standard we hold people to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like bullying, shouldn't bully, but you should like constructive criticism would be better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not like bashing people, because that's what social media is bad about, is bashing people for certain things. Instead of doing that, you know, I would say just reverse it and try and make it like positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of teaches people, especially with social media, that they can just put any comment or say anything they want.
And hide behind the screen.
Yeah, and like they wouldn't say it in person, but then they also have people backing them up or, you know, arguing with them in the comments and different things like that. So it just teaches them they can say whatever. And yeah, I think there should maybe be a little more restriction on that. But like even on my TikToks that I post and stuff, it's funny. Like I'll get some negative comments and I think it's funny, but I know a lot of people like take it to heart. So it all just depends on the person. So
Okay. Would y'all go to? Were y'all in school at all? In school, like college? Yeah.
Stuff. I did 2 semesters at Blinn, but
Yeah, I did.
then I got promoted and
And-
I was paying for it, and I just didn't really want to continue. So
Yeah, I went to A&M for like 2-3 years, and then I withdrew.
Withdrew and then started making money and stuff.
Yeah, I
like
started
that.
making money. I'll probably go back, but man, college is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I was about to say, do y'all think that like, you think you really need an education nowadays, like a college education nowadays?
Depends on what you want to do.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be bred for, not saying like an employee job, but just like a job, maybe not behind a desk, but like more corporate jobs, yeah, go to school. But if you want like, I don't know, anything like artsy, so like, you know, podcasts or stuff, that's all up to you.
Mm-hmm. Especially with this, especially while I was setting everything up, before y'all got here, I was like, damn, I developed a fucking skill of like actually like doing a sound check, getting like lighting set up, getting the camera set up and everything. Is like after a while, like once and then I get back behind it and then start video editing and doing all that and stuff. And really, this is stuff I've been doing since like high school time. Like when I played football, whenever I broke my feet and tore my ACL and shit, it was I would film, you know, and I would break down the film for everyone. So it's kind of like a thing of, damn, this is something I've been doing like my whole life, you know, and I didn't even really realize it, but it's something I just naturally kind of gravitate towards. And it was like same thing with you. You said like,
sure. I started with like GoPro videos and whenever I traveled and stuff, and then it kind of just slowly turned into like photography. And then I got the drone and did a little more stuff like that. And I think it sucks because like it's definitely like a passion of mine, but it's hard
saturated.
to like put yourself out there and take that risk when you don't know if there's gonna be a reward for it, you know.
oh no.
So that's why a lot of people don't. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're happy with it and you enjoy it, like I make all my stuff not for anyone except myself. Like, you know, I don't care how many likes I get or anything. Like I just enjoy doing it, the whole process. You know, the video and the editing, the adding the music and different stuff like that. It just makes me happy, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't really care.
What is your like your favorite shots to film and stuff like that, especially with the drone?
Like I don't know. I guess like
I would say probably one of your best shots is those like around, I don't know what you would call that, like that 360 shot that you do with it. That one's probably one of like the cleanest looking.
yeah. I mean, I have like pre-programmed ones that you can just kind of like circle your object and it'll fly it for you and do it. But I like to kind of like freehand do it and like turn and, you know, drop lower and just get different angles. Try to do different stuff. I mean, I'm still learning. So drone, I was kind of big into it, but now I don't know. I feel like I've gotten more into
Like
still shots and like close up, or that's kind of why we started to get into vlogging. We were just like, let's have fun and talk. And I mean, we make our videos, go home and watch them on the TV at night and just laugh. Like we haven't really posted much yet, but it's just like kind of
It's just fun.
just fun. And it's I don't know, I just feel like it's memories. Like I'll never delete them. I'll have them forever. Like just to look back on. I always like recording a lot. So
That's especially like finding a passion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like with this, just like it goes all hand in hand, like full circle, just encompassing just like an individual. You know what I'm saying? And I think with what like I've been trying to find like a certain like topic or like message to run with. And I think right now it's kind of like, especially like talking to y'all, it's kind of just embracing the individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just especially when it comes to going back to relationships, going back to dating, going back to everything. As long as you're okay with yourself as an individual, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, all you have is you. You know what I'm saying? If you have nobody else around you, all you're gonna have is yourself.
Yeah.
And so, like, y'all are kind of like, we are kind of like building those steps of kind of becoming like, quote unquote, like self-reliant, or just kind of like finding those things that like make us happy and like fulfilling. And so with that, I'm leading into my next question. My other biggest topic that I've been talking about lately is satisfaction versus gratification. And so, pull up the actual definition so we're not confused on
Yeah,
anything
these
at
are good
all.
ones.
These are deep.
These are good questions.
You know, I bet because when I was, I'm still in school. I mean, I've been in school for like 5 years trying to get through this shit. But it was a communication degree, and then like with like a small minor in philosophy. And so that's where it comes into like just overall encompassing like life philosophies and stuff like that, and just all works of life. But when it comes to satisfaction versus gratification versus, see, eventually I'm gonna have because the computer's right there, and it's like having multiple people, like your own crew and stuff like that. It's a time thing, but like I mean, once you just run with it, everything kind of falls into place. Okay, so satisfaction occurs usually after fulfillment of a desire, but gratification occurs mostly when you realize the importance of the things that you possess.
Damn. So, wait, what's the question?
So, would you say the question would be what is more important for an individual? What is more important to you, and what is more beneficial for everybody?
I think gratification.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what did you say?
Yeah. So satisfaction.
I was about to
Sa-
say
satis-
satisfaction.
satisfaction. Satisfaction occurs usually after fulfillment of a desire, but gratification occurs mostly when you realize the importance of the things that you possess.
Yeah, so it's like I'd rather go spend my money on like trips and stuff because
Mhm.
that gives you more gratification rather than like spending my money on like Xbox games and stuff because it satisfies me in the moment, but like
Mhm.
gratification lasts for a lot longer. You remember
Mhm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, gratification is definitely more important.
Go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think gratification is just a lot. It's more meaningful, you know. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I think it helps you focus on like wanting to really do something for yourself, and like that's more important is like making you happy than just the completion of something. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah.
So next question, because we get off the deep shit. Where I want to go besides Mexico?
Shoot.
Like out of U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
I think Europe would be cool.
Italy.
Yeah.
Really?
I got some family there, so I could.
Oh, you're part Italian.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And 2% Northern African.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a 23andMe. Yeah, bro.
My boy.
Part is
Let's
that?
go.
What part of that?
Northern
Definitely
Africa.
not my height, but my athletic ability and my package. Yeah. Straight up.
Maybe
Straight
that's
up.
where he was going with it.
Yeah. No, but for real, I am 2%, and then I'm 49% Sicilian.
You know exactly which country in Africa?
It's where Carthage would be, so I don't know.
Roughly
I
Egypt.
Yeah, it's like Egypt or I think Morocco,
Yeah. Oh wait.
somewhere over there.
Yeah, Africa's big as shit. I forgot.
I think Morocco's right, or maybe Morocco's more like.
Morocco's on the west side of
Yeah.
Africa, and then Egypt's more on the east
So
side.
maybe
right
it's
next
like
to
part of-
Saudi, like in the Mediterranean Sea and all that shit.
Shoot, guess
Yeah.
I'm part Egyptian. Cool. What are you?
I don't know.
Full white.
Yeah, I mean, both my parents are Irish, so
Okay.
I guess that makes. I mean, my name is 3 first names, so Caleb
Really?
William Thomas is pretty. I feel like
Damn.
that sounds
That's
kinda
pretty
Irish.
white.
That's pretty white. Yeah.
It is pretty white. I mean, that was crazy because like a lot of people growing up, like Caleb was always like a quote unquote white name, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause you didn't see
Mhm.
like a lot of black Calebs, but my best friend's name is Caleb and he's black.
Was it
So
with the K or with the C?
C,
And
'cause
you're with the C.
C, gotta be,
Yeah.
gotta
It
ain't
has
no
to
other
be.
way.
K is weird.
I no offense to Caleb Bouquets out there, bro, but like every time someone meets me, like I tell them with a C, they're like, "Oh, not a K." I'm like, Caleb Bouquets are weird.
Yeah.
It's nothing. And again, no offense. They're just different. I don't know. And
I don't think
like,
I know anybody with a K.
I know one with a K.
Who?
Caleb Camp. You know Tyler Camp?
think so.
Maybe. His little
Maybe.
brother.
Okay.
It's the only
That's
one
the only one I know.
in the
Yeah.
world.
No,
Has to
there's
be.
a few of them. There's a few of them,
That's
and they're all weird.
crazy.
But besides that, yeah, no. People used to tell me Caleb was a white ass name, and honestly, it still is. But actually, Caleb was actually, you know, what the meaning behind it, right?
The Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
With like bringing like positivity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like Caleb was a spy, and he went to go spy on the other camp or whatever, and came back with like just nothing but just positivity and stuff like that. And so that's what Caleb's here to do: bring positivity and shit.
Dang. I guess. What am I here to do?
I don't know. Hey, let's look at you. There.
Alex was Alexander the Great.
Here we go.
So
We going Urban Dictionary this, or we gonna?
yeah, Urban Dictionary. It.
All right, fuck it.
Pretty sure it's a name.
Here we go. Alex is one of the most kind people. Oh, just as a short one, dank kid.
Dank.
Yes, you're a dank kid.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Guess
I saw Alex and fucking killed me in Fortnite. Alex is this is what it says. Alex is one of the most kind people you'll meet. He tends to be misunderstood, but is someone that should never be taken for granted.
Hell yeah.
He's someone that you could never find in anyone else. He deserves a lot more than he gets by people surrounding him, and he may get a bit ignorant, but it's how he shows he cares. He may act like he's the shit and he doesn't care, but when you get to know him, he's one of the sweetest people you could ever meet. Very outgoing and deserves to be loved properly.
Hell yeah.
Don't we all?
Need me a woman.
Very attractive and can pull bitches, but they don't matter if you're the girl he loves. Ladies, that's you. He loves conditionally and tries to find the best in negative situations. This is what the fuck we were just talking about, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
That's me.
He's a crackhead that's a little reckless.
Oh. Yeah, he's a crackhead.
Hell yeah.
Alex is a dumbass but special.
Straight up.
Honestly, we all know Alex is a dumbass but special. Shit, y'all probably know the Alex I was talking about last night. Alex Cupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the same stuff last night when it comes to like relationships and like can it make you soft and stuff. And going back to that, dang, because I know too much about like how it can now, and it's like you don't mean to, and it's like it's not necessarily a like hard like line to walk necessarily. I just think that within again the ramifications of the time we live in, social media, it's not as it's a little bit more of a tricky way to kind of find your way as a guy and knowing how to assert yourself as a guy. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a way to do that. You know,
For sure.
especially case point. You know, you getting a promotion, you had to be a dog for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You had to literally show that you had to be, would you say, head and shoulders above other people in order to kind of like.
Yeah, I just think you just gotta give it a little extra work.
Mhm.
Like you gotta put in a little more work than you want to, and then it'll pay off or it won't. So
Even when you don't want to.
even when you don't want to, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Like like practicing, like when I was like practicing on my interviews and stuff, doing that outside of work, taking like other classes to like help me out with like talking in public and stuff and all that kind of thing. Yeah, without that, there's no way. I mean, I applied the first time and didn't get in to the position I wanted because I didn't have the experience. So I just went back and got the experience and then came back pretty confident about it.
So would you would this be a job like you want to stick like that, but like at least like a 20-year, 30-year, like 40-year kind of thing, or like our parents kind of thing, or because I mean like also like especially with me, I know just life moves and just you gotta kind of move with it. I mean, so for you personally, I mean, what would you see yourself doing?
I mean, I honestly, It's definitely not like my passion, but like it pays really well, and
Good at it.
It kind of comes down to how I was saying, like you shouldn't get too comfortable, but I think I am, and I think I'll probably stay with it until a better opportunity arises. So, and I've put 8 years with the company, so I mean, by like 36, I'll have 20 years. You know what
Even
I mean?
then, like,
So-
I mean, that's just to be. I mean, like, you're 23, and the fact that you stick with a job for same job for 8 years,
Yeah.
is an accomplishment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
That's
saying?
my first job. I started like 2 days after I turned 16.
Exactly, like, bro. Like, congratulations on that too. Like, that's the
You
thing.
should.
Like, it's a thing people again take for granted a lot. And I think like a lot of people. I don't think that we take we do take a lot of things for granted in society nowadays. You know, especially just in general, just life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, do you ever have people say, "I hate that sentiment of like I didn't ask to be here." I hate that sentiment. You know,
Yeah.
because it's like, bro, there's some people who would kill you to be here. You know what I'm saying? Who people would just disregard your life to get
Roof
anything
over
that
your
you
head.
had. You know what I'm saying?
Running water,
Exactly.
food.
You know, with me, you can eat whatever, but I mean, like food that it's actually beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Chick-fil-A.
the option to even like be able to go outside. You know, the option to even be able to get on this podcast and talk about whatever the fuck we talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so, I think it goes back to a little bit of what I was talking about earlier with that like satisfaction versus gratification. And it's like, you know, how much are you satisfied with? But then like we're all looking for that gratification now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
And like especially with the they talk about like especially with social media, just in general looking on your phone, like the dopamine hit it gives you and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and just I don't know. I'm trying to find ways of being a better human, basically.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I think like TikTok and stuff has really like messed with people as far as like I don't know their attention span. You know, you're just like
Mhm.
swipe, 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 like everything. I mean, even just me, like I'm just ready to go everywhere I'm at. Like I don't want to stay anywhere long, do anything long, and I think a lot of that is to do with like social media and just scrolling and seeing stuff and like all right, the next thing, and like you know you just get kind of like a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why I make sure I can sit here. I like watching podcasts too, because like I can sit here and make sure I can focus on something for like an hour. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Or longer than just like maybe 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, what would y'all say like people could do to improve? I guess.
I think do more non like social media stuff. Like go outside or like we go to his land and fish or just we don't even fish half the time. We just walk around
Chill.
in the land. It's how many acres is it?
Like 350,
300,
yeah.
It's a lot. I mean,
Just
there's 3
chilling.
ponds. Like, you know, we just like going outside and just experiencing new stuff or just like appreciating the outdoors and not just being like cooped up all day and like
Yeah.
one of my biggest things is like on my days off they're never like 2 in a row or they're never weekends. Like I got lucky that I'm off this week and I requested it off, but and I didn't have anything planned, but like I don't know, just taking advantage. Like I'll wake up in the morning and if I don't have a plan to do something, like I'm so antsy and I'm like I don't want to waste a day. Like I don't get days like this. Like I want to go do something. So you know, like how you said, like, hey, come do the podcast and stuff. And I was like, definitely, we're down. Like, I don't care. As long as I'm doing something and not, like, sitting in my house, I got in a bad habit of doing that. So, like, if I can get out and do anything, if it's just driving my car, doing stuff like that.
Especially
Mhm.
pandemic and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Well, that didn't
Yeah.
affect us. 'Cause
Yeah, y'all
We're
were still
both
working.
working.
the
So-
whole time.
Yeah, we were working
Ugh.
more. You know
Shit
what I mean?
sucked.
Like,
I was actually working the same place, and I got let go maybe a month before COVID. Maybe the same weekend COVID hit.
yeah.
I got in some trouble. We'll say that.
Mhm.
And I just went through the basic, did what they told me to do, and 4 months later, they're like, "Hey, we gotta let you go." And so it was weird because I kind of did feel some type of way about it, but I mean, like again, come full circle, and you'll see where I'm at now. It's like things happen for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was about to apply for the same position, same stuff you're going through, and I've been there maybe a year and a half at that time, and there are people telling me like, you know, if you haven't been here long, but if you really wanted to, I mean, like you could get it, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And I was thinking like, I mean, I had like 5 years. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this, boom, 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 and just stay with this, and then shit hits the fan, and it's like you ain't doing none of that shit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck. And it's like you gotta think of life just changes, and it's like, all right, what you gonna do now? You know, and
Yeah.
that's literally after that, I started podcasting.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like right when the pandemic hit. Got me a microphone. Was in my my house, my room, at my mom's house and shit like that. And just I was straight audio back then. Like, I didn't have any cameras or set up anything like that. Just like one mic, a laptop, and just rocking and rolling. And so basically, just whatever you're doing out there, bro, do it to the fullest, and just know how to do you and not be ashamed of yourself. But also know how to hold yourself to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where a lot of people kind of like get that mixed up, because like, do you, but also there's I don't think I should impose how I feel about society on society. But at the same time, I have a podcast. I'm gonna talk my shit. There's a certain standard which you should hold yourself by. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And you know, whether or not it be just like how you treat people or how you carry yourself. You know, it's at the end of the day, you know, as long as you treat yourself right, you'll treat other people right. You know what I'm saying? It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it'll just come naturally.
Exactly.
For sure.
You know, and really to encompass, really that kind of encompasses everything we talked about, with just kind of like life, individuals, even coming back to relationships, social dynamics and stuff like that. I mean, if you just kind of tailor into yourself and just kind of realize that everything's okay, you know?
Yeah.
Are y'all religious at all?
I used to be
Mhm.
pretty religious, but not that much anymore.
Was there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Like I think the Bible is real, but I think that what we're being told is not the full truth. So it's hard to like encompass a full religion when you don't know the full truth.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mean I don't believe, but it just means that I'm willing to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely more behind the story. That's all I got to say.
That's a good mindset to have
Yeah.
on it too, as well. Like a lot of people would just hear God, the word God in general, and just automatically get offended. You know, like there's no such thing as God or anything. Really, it's kind of like God can be whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you see as the God of your life, whatever controls you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I was watching this video, and all of this guy's hand in hand with the podcast, but it was talking about exocentric religion versus exocentric versus esocentric religion. Exocentric being how you relate to the world outside of you, esocentric being how you relate to the world inside of you and stuff like that. And it talks about how you can teach, like with Christianity, modern day Christianity and Catholicism is exocentric, while a lot of it can be taught esocentrically about how to, like, you know, again, self-improvement and just overall fulfillment of the soul. You know what I'm saying? And just because at the end of the day, like you said, we only have one fucking life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And trying to figure all of this shit out at once, you know, there's a lot. So, I mean, you just take your time and, like I said, just find your way, do what you do. Hey, bro, it's just life. You know what I'm saying? And do you think you should take life too seriously?
Definitely. I mean, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
To an
I-
extent, you should take certain things seriously, but nah, I think you're going to stress out if you take everything too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Just relax. Like you said, just let the world go,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll just follow through.
That's a good way to end that podcast right there, honestly.
Shoot.
Honestly, I'm good with the podcast ending right there. Y'all good with that?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, y'all want to plug any YouTube channels, Instagram, social media,
What's
anything?
your, what's your
I
TikTok?
mean, if you like cars and stuff and want to check out my TikTok, it's IS20 GTI. That's it.
Yes, sir.
You can find me off of his. I don't have much, but
All right, yes, sir. We're in the Caleb Jackson podcast. I will definitely have these boys on another time. Probably talk about come up with something different for next time.
hell yeah.
You know, we'll
Dive into
test-
something
That was
deep.
on the spot. I mean, we didn't have anything planned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
First podcast, by the way.
we'll test those waters sometime.
Hell
But
yeah.
no, I appreciate you boys.
For sure.
Always a pleasure.
bro.
All right, and we about to fuck some shit up. All
Hell
right,
yeah.
y'all be good. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like with Joe Rogan, especially, is that like I was saying, like it's just whenever he wants. Is like, hey, come on a podcast. Even if like you say you meet him today, you know what I'm saying, and he finds you interesting, you know,
Right.
he'd just be like, hey, come on my podcast, you know, same shit I be doing, you know.
Yep. And he's like so well versed in like everything. Like he knows a lot about like a lot of topics.
Mm-hmm.
And he's interesting about it too.
Yeah, and not even that, he'll admit that he's like not the smartest person, you know. But the thing is, he's curious, you know. He's interested. He's willing to, you know, he's willing to learn about stuff, you know, and like kind of talk about like what we were talking about earlier, you know, with like just being open, you know, and kind of like you said, Caleb, like kind of like finding that confidence, being like open, you know, and kind of like how do you do that? It's kind of like it's a letting yourself go, but it's a process. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
You know, it's a kind of trying to like find your way, and like yeah, you know, you just kind of figure it out, honestly. You know,
How do you become him?
how you become him? You
That
gotta
guy.
you gotta be
How do you get the Riz?
Yeah.
the Riz. What the fuck even is Riz, bro?
Charisma.
Charisma, is that what
Charisma.
the kids, what the kids call it nowadays?
Yeah.
Riz. Because
Yeah. They don't want to say full words now, so they just say Riz instead of charisma.
I'll tell y'all about Iceberg Slim, and like I know a little bit about like just basic pimping and stuff like that, but it's like it's called like ism, yeah, ism, or like just yeah, how you become him. I can't tell you how to become him. You just be him, and him is whoever you want to be, whoever you see yourself as being him, basically. Well, like, how do you see yourself? If you were him, what would you be doing? And how would you get there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my him is different than everybody else's him.
Exactly.
You know?
That's the thing, is that like there's no like, I mean, there's a base level, I guess, you know,
Sure.
I guess in societal standards, you know what I'm saying? But again, like we're talking about like being an individual, you know, when you're just doing you, bro, the people who you're gonna want to be around you are gonna be around you. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And so, and that just kind of like, it comes, I think a lot of it comes back to like, we were talking about earlier with like bullying, with like calling people names, put people down and stuff like that. And again, like you shouldn't bully people because like everybody's gonna do them. You know what I'm saying? But I think it comes when they're just like, I mean, there's levels to shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's gonna be levels to society, and that's like the cold hard truth that people just don't want to talk about, is that not all people are equal. You know, and but that's okay. You know, because I mean, you're made the way you are for a reason. You know, and so it's like a perfect imperfection or like an imperfect perfection, you know, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Kind of glass half empty, half full kind of shit,
Yeah.
you know. So some people look at it one way, some people look at it another way, you know. I mean, some people could look at like, again, you know, look at y'all, what y'all do for work, and be like, oh, look at those fucking whatever, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And then like, you know, like what the fuck are you doing with your life? You work at a fucking, you know, and it's like, no, like in reality, it's like I look at y'all, I'm like, you know, y'all put in fucking work for what y'all have. You know what I'm saying? Kind of go back to what I'm talking about with like the satisfaction and gratification. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and that you've put in that like a level of like dedication to some shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, and some like you can either do that, I guess, by finding something you're passionate about and sticking with it, or at least like finding something like find something that you're good at, something that you at least like, and something that pays the bills for the time being, in order to kind of get you to the next step of your life. Because again, like I talked about earlier, 28, 23, 24, bro, we just getting started.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not even 30 yet.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got time. I got 2 years.
And even then, bro, like I mean, and a lot of these like nowadays podcasts, they talk about how like there's like the difference between like men and women and stuff like that. We're not even really talking about like all of that right now, but even like as a guy, you could just keep going till you're like 50. Like there's no level for us. There's no like stopping point for
Okay.
us. You know what I'm saying? Until we really die. Until we die. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, like a lot of us say like I'll sleep when I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like or
I say that all the time. That's
exactly.
fun.
You know, like
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm not trying to put my arm around you, but I gotta put my
You
arm
know,
No,
around
that's
you.
okay. Go ahead, get relaxed, bro. You know, it's part 2. Honestly, we were just like we did the first podcast and then we were just
Kept talking. When
kept
the mics
talking
were
about
off.
it. And we were
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, let's get
Off
back
mic
on it.
talk.
No. Yeah, I think like what you were saying about like other people seeing what you do. Like I remember when I used to work at my current job, and I'd be like stocking or moving stuff, and I'd see people from high school, and they're probably like, "Oh man, he's just like a bagger, or he's just like stocking stuff. He's going nowhere with life." And I'm still doing the same stuff. I get paid a lot more, but I'm like, and you're still in college, and you still have debt,
Mhm.
and you still don't have a guaranteed job. Like, I may have not gotten that college degree, but I've put in the same amount of years as you did in school to like get where I'm at now. So like it goes hand in hand. I think not all companies like recognize like I guess longevity or like
Yeah.
commitment that you put to something.
The
You know
hard
what I
work,
mean?
yeah.
So
Mhm.
like our company's really good because like
They'll
they'll
recognize
take
that.
a 4-year degree, or if you spend 4 years with them, then they're gonna
It's basically
it's
equal.
equal. You know, so
Mhm.
you can kind of.
I've seen both sides. I saw both sides of it too when I worked there as well. And like even though like the way like I left like wasn't the most ideal, I'll say that, I still tell people like it's a good company to work for. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do the shit I did. All right. If you want to know what happened with me, go watch episode 3, like at the very
Episode
beginning
3.
on Spotify.
Episode
Okay.
3.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe one of like the very first episodes. But yeah, no, yeah. So again, like going back to what we were talking about, it's just like, yeah, fine. Everybody has a different path. Like I was talking about earlier with like life path numbers and stuff like that. Because I told you I was kind of into kind of like it's occult shit more or less, like kind of stuff that like people just really aren't necessarily into or find kind of like I guess mysterious, kind of weird.
What was your
But-
number?
3.
3.
Yeah, life path 3. You were 6. And Caleb,
Yeah.
what was your birthday number?
May 21st. I don't know. We didn't do mine.
May 21st. What year?
99.
99. Oh shit! I can do quick math real quick.
Quick math.
Oh, I was right on point. Wait, 9. Yeah.
So you're a 9.
369.
369.
Yeah.
369.
You know what I'm saying? Life path 9. See, other Caleb Ross, he's the same way. He's in life path 9.
Yeah.
And then my dad's also life path 9. And so I think the biggest thing with like life path numbers and like numerology is that basically there's only like it's 1 through 9, and then the master numbers are numbers 11, 22, and 33. 33 being the number in terms of like Christianity or like even other religions is like the prophet, not necessarily the prophet number, but like it's the Jesus number. But like even in other religions, the number 3 is a very magic number. You know what I'm saying? Like 369. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
And so
That is
exactly.
weird.
And so, but then the biggest thing about numbers, and this is when I started understanding like just like logic and philosophy, logic, algebra. It all goes just hand in hand with each other. And a lot of people, and I was talking about it at work the other day. A lot of people talk about how like you really can't like apply math to like life and stuff like that. And I was like, no, you really can. Like y equals mx plus b, right? Everybody's like, when do I ever apply that to my life? I was like, it's a function. It's like it's how things function. You plug in whatever number to that function. Let's say you plug in you to your job. You function in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And that's at a higher level, you know? Because you're in a position where you have to function at a higher level. Versus if you plug somebody else into the same function, it's not going to come out the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's certain things, certain ways. Things are the way they are for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta. You don't necessarily have to figure out the reason of why they are. You just gotta figure out how you fit into it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
For sure.
It's a mix of like get in where you fit in, or you just make your way. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's
That's
like
true.
yeah.
Damn.
Wait. Let's talk relationships real quick. I want
Okay.
to
Wait, you wanna
get
hop back on that?
Yeah, I want to get deep into it.
Go ahead. Let's go.
All right, I got a question for you. If you don't mind me asking a question.
I'm here.
Even though you're the host.
All right, yeah.
I'm here, bro.
Hey, guest is asking the questions now. All right, you said when was your last relationship?
That was it's April now. 9 months ago.
9 months ago. Okay. What is the greatest? No. What is the one thing that you took from your last relationship that you're gonna use? Not in like your next relationship, but like what have you taken from your last relationship that you're gonna use moving forward to not do or to do, if that makes sense?
Always do you. Always be doing you. And it's I say that, and it's not like in a bad way. If you have someone you actually like really care about, you know, it's you know how it is when you have somebody you care about, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and you have somebody you truly love, you'll do anything for them. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of a distinction, and kind of like there's boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And like just knowing where your boundaries lie, and just like who can cross those boundaries. You know, slowly but surely. Like like Shrek. You know what I'm saying? Ogres are like onion. We have layers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And so like, but the biggest thing I would say is just to always do you, because even like, I mean, sometimes relationships just don't work out. I mean, you've seen like 20-year relationships. You know, I mean, sometimes even, I mean, I feel like if you go 50 years into a relationship, that shit's working. I don't know where that
Yeah.
shit's going.
There's the one.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
right
you know,
one.
but like
Yeah.
a lot, like relationships end a lot of times, you know, and sometimes it's life, you know, and you can either feel bad about it or you can just keep moving, you know. And I think my biggest thing, like when my relationship ended, was like, there's no point in, unless like some absolutely egregious shit happened, you know, and but there's no point in being like we talked about earlier, being a dick, you know, or being an asshole about it. You know, you can still be cordial, you know, still be who you are. Don't get, again, always doing you means also don't get out of your character for anything. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know, and like because there's no point to, you know, and if you get out of your character, not necessarily you lost, but like, you know, you got to learn from it. You know.
True.
Definitely. I feel like with, like I don't regret any past relationships I've had or anything. Like, they've honestly like taught me so much. Like, it's hard to explain, but I would never. Oh, my camera died or something.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I'd like. I wouldn't change anything, like, because it taught me everything I didn't want and everything like I do, and so now I just feel like I like clarify what I don't want more and let them know like what I do want. So it was really beneficial. Like, I don't think I'd change anything. Like,
yeah.
it just made me grow more, and like, you don't grow more until you experience more relationships and do more things, and like, you know, because then you just be stuck in the same spot that you were originally.
True.
You know, so it's,
But does seeing how certain relationships end up, or like for example, a lot of divorce happening and stuff, does like marriage scare you, or like a future, like a long future with the girl scare you that she could fall out of love with you? Or because I see that a lot, girls just be like 20 years down the road, I don't love you anymore, I'm gonna go fuck this guy, or I'm gonna leave you and take half your money. Like, I don't know, shit like that just kind of scares me. But also, like, if you find the right one, you shouldn't be scared.
I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily scared. Like I said, I don't think I'm necessarily scared of it. I mean, again, it's kind of like you think about it and you just have the connotation of like, oh shit, what would I do if that happened? Well, what happens if this happens? Oh shit! Hold up.
Yeah.
No, people right now. Hold up, let me move this. But yeah, no. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily scared of it. I would say, like, if you watch a lot of social media and watch a lot of like YouTube right now, and you might be, because it preaches that like there's like really no benefit for guys getting married. I mean, and I wouldn't say there's really no benefit for it, but I mean, me personally, if there's somebody if I'm at the right time, you know what I'm saying, and there's somebody who's just at that point with me, you know what I'm saying, then we'll make it happen, you know?
yeah.
But again, life happens, and I mean, it just moves like this, and there's sometimes you gotta learn through stuff. But always protect yourself, which means sign a prenup. But always use protection. Always use protection.
Never.
So much
This
better
is-
without.
I know. Trust me. I made that mistake as a youngin', but hey, trust me. Hey,
But
it's a learning curve. We're young dogs, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta. Hey. Oh, can I bring body armor out here? We'll find out.
Yo, fuck.
Yeah, but I feel like it kind of goes with just like, what happens. So you kind of got to go with the flow and just like enjoy the moment, enjoy like whatever's gonna happen, regardless if it ends bad. Like, it's gonna make you stronger, even if you think it's not. Like in the beginning, I feel like it's just gonna teach you more, and then you'll just be more prepared for the next relationship that you're in.
True.
So
Like, relationships are a beautiful thing. I think that's one thing that's getting lost in the translation right now, is that relationships aren't a beautiful thing. And I think I asked the question of like, damn, how many people were just in like bad relationships to think that like relationships are a bad thing, you know? And I think that it goes back to like the satisfaction and gratification kind of thing. Cause like you can be gratified knowing that, I mean, like, you're still you, you know, and like even though that life that part of the life ended, you know, I mean, shit, there's still a whole nother world out here, you know, like, you know, a lot of people look at, I use the closed door analogy, you know, the door closes and you're standing there looking at the door, knocking on it, trying the door and shit, you know, seeing if it's gonna open, but it's not. When you just turn around and see what else is behind you, you know, you know, and
There's always more doors.
exactly,
that are open.
you know, it's like some Matrix shit. Everybody talks about like some Matrix shit nowadays, you know, and it's like yes and no. I think a lot of people take this shit into too seriously. You know what I mean? Because again, like, life is life. It's not a movie. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it can be a movie. You can make it your movie. You know. But I don't know. It comes down to also purpose. You know what I mean? And like kind of like people finding your own purpose. You know. But going back to relationships though, one thing about it is that like when it comes to like breakups and stuff, is that women are able to get over breakups a lot easier because they feel all their emotions at once. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's how they are. You know, they just feel everything. You know, and so like with us, it takes. I mean, depending on who you are, person to person. I mean, everybody's different, obviously. So I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but like with us, like it more or less it comes out over time. You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, you know, like it's whatever. You know, it's just because like I mean, hormonally, I mean, women hormones change every day. You know what I'm saying? Us, we're on like a much longer cycle. You know, so it's kind of like we'll go through a boom, 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 and women they're just on a constant cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, like that's why like for us it's kind of like a couple months down the line be like, damn, you know, like he'll hit you,
We'll
you
see,
know,
like an Instagram post. I'm like, damn, I miss her or something like that.
and you know, and like even
You
then,
know?
like, yeah, it might happen like even like years down the line, you know, but even then, that's just the memories of what you had, you know, and don't let the memories of what you had blind what you have. That's the biggest thing I will say, because I mean, life changes. Oh, thank you. Life changes a lot, you know. Like I was telling y'all, you know, when I lost my in that little month or so. Like I've told the story on the podcast a lot. I lost my job, COVID hit. I wrecked my car, like February 15th to March 15th, all in 1 month span. And I turned 21 somewhere in between there too. And so, and then it's like, yeah, life just does a 180, and it's like you gotta just either go with it or, you know, and it's not. One thing about it is it's not like bad to just sit down and bleed for a little bit, bro. You know, like shit hurts. Like it's life, bro. It's not easy, you know.
No,
But that's why we here, you know.
For sure.
you're
So
a struggle.
Yeah, that's like I feel like the one bad thing about life is like no matter what, it keeps moving. Or like, you know, you deal with like a death or something and you're like, why is no one else freaking out about this? Or you know, you like someone close to you passes away and like everyone's still posting, partying, going out, doing stuff like that, and you're like, why aren't you okay right now? Like why? But you know, like life doesn't stop for anybody, so you gotta, you know, you can take your time and do what you gotta do, be down, but then like you gotta eventually get back up and start doing something, because it's not slowing down for you. You're just eventually wasting time. So
that's where everybody's built differently, you know.
True. Some people let it eat them.
Exactly. You know, I mean, like, you play sports at all?
Baseball, football. Now a little golf, maybe a little Xbox. You know.
Work the thumbs a little bit.
Maybe a little ping pong.
Yes, sir.
ping pong,
Little
swimming,
pool,
soccer.
Soccer.
Okay.
Pretty active.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You play these sports?
Soccer,
Basketball.
disc golf.
Disc
Disc golf. Disc golf. I have a couple friends that play disc golf.
Bro, you
I've
should
heard
play.
it's
It's
a really,
fun.
yeah. I heard it's like really relaxing.
Yeah.
As well.
Especially if you're drinking.
Maybe a little.
Y'all know me. I'm a leafy guy.
Well, yeah, they.
Yeah.
That works
it's
too.
outside,
Yeah.
so you know.
You know. Usually I'm like basketball. I've been into playing basketball a lot more. That's actually how I met Cade though. Was
Yeah.
playing basketball because he was at the same park that we usually go to, and then
What
like
park?
fuck, I forgot the name of it now. Give me like
Pebble Creek.
Nope. College Station. Ooh.
Oh, is it over next to the College Station High School?
Mm-mm.
No. Where's it close by?
It's maybe like a mile or so away from here. It's Navarro Street.
Yeah.
Brothers.
No, not Brothers. Navarro and I haven't been over there, so we used to go over there like every weekend. But the past few weekends, we've been going over to this new place. It's indoors, and you pay $5. And I'm like, yeah, I'm playing. It's called Legends. Yeah, it's like they got like 6, 7 courts indoors. Usually they have like the first like 2 or 3 open, but like
That's
it's
dope.
open gym all day long. Yeah,
$5? That's not too bad.
$5. Yeah,
They have like a monthly membership too. Or
I don't think so. But usually, I mean, I'll go like maybe once a week or something. You know,
okay.
get like a good 2 hours in. But like, I mean, basic open gym rules: 5v5. You know, get you a team. Whoever keep the court. Basically, whoever wins.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
You know, so I ain't gonna lie. We went over there, bro. Some high school kids whooped our ass. I ain't gonna cap. Them kids had some young, bro. They got the young energy in them, dog.
Right?
Like they got them young bones and them like
They just got
good-
nonstop energy.
good
They can
dopamine
just
receptors
run.
and shit, and like they don't gotta go work 9 to 5 and shit.
Right.
You know, they gotta be on their feet all day.
They got
Go
no
home and-
responsibilities.
Exactly.
They have
play-
lunch and dinner ready
exactly.
For 'em.
Yeah, they gotta cook shit.
The good
They ain't
life.
gotta go buy groceries and shit. They gotta. I don't know. They might have to put gas in the car. They might drive.
Shoot, I know. The only way I could have a car is if I had a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Same.
I worked at Cinemark for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Shit sucked.
Because
I wanted to be a ticket puller, you know,
Mhm.
and then the people that clean the. But nah, they said you're in concessions, so I had to fucking make popcorn all the time.
Oh no.
Now, anytime I smell movie theater popcorn, it makes me want to throw up, and I still eat that
I
shit.
was
and
about to
it
say,
makes
you
me
still eat it
throw
all
up.
the time.
Yeah, honestly, I got to making popcorn on the stove too.
Ooh,
Yeah, a little
Some,
bit of
like,
oil.
oil in the
Yeah,
pan. Oil, yeah, that's
that's
the
the
best.
natural shit.
exactly.
It's good.
Makes it way better.
Definitely.
What's the worst job y'all had?
I only had
You
one
only had
job.
one job, yeah.
That's really your only job?
Yeah.
Man, I think restaurant business, like that stuff's rough.
Mm.
I've had to work like 2 restaurant jobs, but not like real, cause like I was underage, but
Mm.
it was like family jobs.
Mhm.
But
But still, it was like
still, like it's just not.
Italian restaurants, cause you.
Well, no, actually, one of them was like a cafe, like grill and bar type thing,
Mm.
and then the other one was like a sub shop.
Okay.
It's called Lenny's. It was pretty good actually, but it's just gross. Like working in the restaurant business and you just realize certain things, and really it's just the customers.
Mm-hmm.
And like working in retail too, you just realize that there's just certain people in this world that are
Yeah,
Karens and just bitches and stuff.
it happens with yeah.
It's really entitled, I think. is the
Yeah,
biggest thing.
entitled
Yeah.
people. That's what it is.
See, I worked I worked a bunch of retail. I think the worst job I had was the dirtiest job I had was definitely working either construction or when I was working for the apartment complexes as a handyman. Yeah.
I bet.
Oh my god, dog. I mean, like roaches.
Oh
Like,
man.
I worked at a place that was like it was like that, and I'm not gonna put them on blast like that. But it was awful. I mean, it was the worst thing we had. We walked into a place and this guy, he got evicted and he left literally everything, like, and just took him and his dogs. I don't even know if he had the dogs anymore. But literally, you walk in, it's like piss and shit stains from the dogs all in the carpet. Like literally roaches crawling through this man's clothes and like clothes hammers and shit. So we went the full 9 yards, put like gas masks and shit. We bombed it with like the little insect shit. It had, I mean, as soon as you open the door, bro, fleas, roaches, everything.
Oh.
And it was crazy because like he had some cool shit in there too. Like he had a big ass like arcade, like old school arcade game. I was like, damn, like he had some cool shit, but like when my manager was like, all this shit is nasty as fuck. Throw it all the fuck away. Like everything. And it was also weird because he had like some weird like for the YouTube algorithm, corn videos. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty pretty interesting, honestly.
Like on VHS type.
VHS, yes.
Ooh.
That was yeah. So it was like what
Probably
the,
worth something now.
I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, some people are just like
Oh, dude.
weird as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, but talk about like standards. I mean, again, like I believe we should have a level of societal standards, but because like that shit is just that's no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That's like basically like hoarding. Like
I believe
in your
I
house
believe
like
in
that.
doing you, but also there should be a standard which we hold people to, you know, a certain level. But also at the same
Cleanliness.
time, you know, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I mean, I'm just gonna sit here and podcast and talk about it, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can just try to help people, I guess, try to be better, you know, be him or her. How to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just be the him of your life, basically.
Because if everybody's the him, then
Who are them?
exactly.
Exactly.
But if everybody's trying to do their best,
Mm.
shit, world would be a lot better.
It comes like there's a level of being like confident and like not. I mean, like it was one thing that hit me one day. I think it's because I was like just gassed out of my mind, but I was sitting there and it was like hit me. It was like so like there's a self-awareness and then self-esteem, right? And it just hit me. I was like, what's the real difference between it? And self-esteem is good to have, but it's also pretty fragile, you know, because you kind of like you're full of yourself, but also it's kind of like it can change, you know what I'm saying? And it's confidence, but it's kind of like feigning confidence, you know what I'm saying? Versus like self-awareness is just being aware of just who you are and how you are, and just being okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just knowing that not everything is for me, and not everybody might not be for me. You know.
True.
And I think that's like, I think one thing is that like in society nowadays they try to get you to accept everything. You do not have to accept everything. You know what I'm saying? If something is not for you, you do not have to do anything you don't want to do. That's one thing That's one big thing I'll preach to a lot of people too. Is like if something just doesn't sit right with you, you can say no. You know, like the Dare program. Like the Dare program fucking failed. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
They
Because
took
like
weed out of it.
you know they did.
Yeah.
And see
It's not
like
part of it.
and so because as you see like just nowadays, I mean it really didn't do much. But also I think the bigger thing of what they just should have taught us was just if it's something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, growing up, we're gonna be curious. You know, we're humans. You know what I'm saying?
True.
We just want to know about shit. You know,
Yeah.
and so, you know, there's also a level to it. You know, and I think a lot of people also get put in that box. I asked y'all like earlier about like if y'all were religious or not,
Mhm.
and like a lot of people get put in a box of what they should like and what they shouldn't like. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I'm growing, or even then, like, not even like religion, but even then, even just like how you're raised, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, but then I don't know, you know, life's crazy like that. Like you can just you can get thrown out in the open and just like, you just gotta find your way, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like for instance, okay, I was at the park the other day, and I met this girl, and I had a brief conversation with her. Come to find out, she said she was a freshman in college, right? But she had just turned 18.
Mm.
I was like, and you've been in college for a year already? I'm like, damn, right? And it's like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you know when like you put a dog in a room with a bunch of treats, but then
Mhm.
tie it to the door, and say you can't have none of that? What is the dog gonna do when you come back a day later and you let it off the leash?
Probably gonna eat the snacks.
Eat all the fucking snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So, and not to say like, but not to use that analogy with that, but it's kind of like a thing of being prepared for what the world has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, and I think that's the biggest thing also is that like a lot of people just aren't prepared for what the world has. You know, and kind of like it's again overall encompassing like if it doesn't sit right with you, you don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, like, I'll use that analogy with the younger girl because, like, especially at that age, I'm thinking, like, if I was out of the house at 17, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, what the fuck would I be doing? You know?
True.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, it kind of just put me in that introspective mindset of like, damn, that's, you know, it's crazy to think like being like, I mean, away from home, you know, that young, you know, and I mean, a lot of people do it, obviously, you know, but even like, I mean, before you're 18, you know,
True.
For sure.
and just kind of having to find your way, especially as a girl, you know.
It's scary.
That's what I'm about to say. Especially as that was the biggest thing. I was like, well, you just turned, so you've been out of your house for damn near a year before you're 18. I was like,
Wait, what year did we graduate? Like, whenever we graduated high school, what were we? Well, like 18?
yeah, we're
19?
18.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. So she was already in college?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
and so yeah, so it was like,
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking like that.
so I'm thinking like, that's what I thought. I'm like, 17. Like your parents let you out of the house at 17. Like, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, like as a guy getting let out of the house at 17, it's like shit. What the fuck am I gonna do? You know what I mean? But like, imagine as like a young girl out of the house at 17 by yourself. That's gotta be scary as shit.
Just gotta be smart as hell, though.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like I mean, your parents gotta trust you, especially. You know what I'm saying? But that's what also is like 'cause some parents just don't give a fuck either. You know?
Could have been that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of like
She could have wanted to graduate high school early, so she.
who knows? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like, I just got put me in that introspective mindset of like, damn, like, this is just how young 17 is. You know?
Yeah.
You know, 'cause even though I'm like 24, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 17 is so fucking
Man,
young, like,
19 is
fucking
young.
baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like.
that's so young.
You know, like not even that like you're like a human baby, but like just like the mindset you have is just like at that
Childish.
age, you know, not even childish, but just like everything's new again.
Yeah, like the
you
lack
know?
of experience.
The
we
lack of
have.
Right.
experience,
Yeah.
you know, and just like again, just how to navigate, you know, and if you really don't have like a real like structure of how to navigate the world, you know what I mean?
Think about when you were that age and you thought you knew everything, right? Or not that you thought you knew, but like you felt more. But like think about now how more confident you are about like life and stuff. And if you could go back at that age and like with the mindset you have now, like think about what you could like achieve and stuff. I feel like I'd be like probably a millionaire by now if I started 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think with like age, like it's like when you're younger, like you have a lot of confidence because you think you know everything or everything's easy and you can like figure it out. But then the more you get to see like the real world, like you lose that confidence.
A
So
little
that's
bit,
what
yeah.
keeps you from
Trying
trying as hard as, or you know,
Like
thinking
taking
things are as
risks.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because I think a lot of people see like the quote unquote the standard and think that they can't meet quote unquote the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like again where that line gets towed of like there should be at least a standard of just being a citizen, so to speak. I guess you know just like I was talking about it the other day. I was like, bro, if you go to work or school and make yourself dinner or make yourself food, you are a-okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know you're
Doing
doing okay.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, but I mean also like it's kind of again being okay with what you're doing. Like for instance, I heard a like a rap lyric one time, and it's like everybody's like playing a role to keep you from taking a loss, basically. And so like I saw the trash man taking out the trash one time. I was like, he's doing that, so I don't got to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
Or
about
a
that.
janitor or
Yeah.
something.
You know. So like it's kind of like a level of again like going back to the satisfaction of gratification, kind of just appreciating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where
Mhm.
you are.
And it goes back with self-awareness too, appreciating who you are, you know what I'm saying, and how you are,
Sure.
you know, appreciating yourself. And really it's kind of like talked about earlier, like you appreciate yourself, you know, you'll really appreciate other people, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That is true. You love yourself and you love
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Self-love is the best love, baby.
Yeah, I'm not like super religious, but my favorite Bible verse ever. The reason it was my favorite back in the day was because it was the shortest Bible verse that I had to memorize, and so, but it means a lot though. But it doesn't say a lot. It says love one another.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just in everything you do, like love yourself, but also love one another, and like you know, like good karma will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you can interpret that like however you want to.
See, that's like the one thing that goes through a lot of religions, like karma, or like depending on which religion you go to, is either karma, dharma, what goes around comes around, balance. Like Buddhism, just finding balance and equilibrium, and it's kind of a little bit of everything, or like even like basic Christianity. Treat others how you want to be treated. You know what I mean? And there's a balance to it. And the fact of the matter is that like a lot of people aren't gonna treat other people nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Doesn't mean you gotta stick down to what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't be a sheep.
Exactly. What would you define as like a sheep?
Well, it's somebody who follows the flock. They just
The herd.
follow the herd. They have that herd mentality, like just do what everybody else does, and like same thing with like what you've been saying is like do you, and like find your own way. Like don't be the sheep. Don't be the white sheep that's just like going with everybody else. Like I've always called myself the black sheep in my family because like the black sheep in a herd of sheep is the one that just does the opposite. And like some people view it as bad, but like it could be good, because you're doing something outside the norm. So like, just don't do what everybody else is doing just because they're doing it. Find your own way, and if it is the right way, do it. But not always. The herd mentality is the right way to do it.
See, a lot of people I say about school too, the same way. Like a lot of people feel like going to school and everything is like the way, which for some people, yeah, it is. Some people, I mean, going back to a little bit of mix of relationships. I was watching one of those podcasts, and dude was talking about, especially when it comes to like, I guess like it comes. I can't speak on it, but you're talking about when it comes to black culture and stuff like that, and like dating within like African American culture, and it's talking about how he hates the connotation that societally, like especially social media wise, that like somebody who works a 9 to 5 is like inadequate or like corny. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, bro, I busted my ass at Harvard like to work this 9 to 5 where I make 6 figures. You know what I mean? But also it goes back to, again, finding the people, gravitating towards those people who find that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might not be where you live either. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's a mix of it. But also, like what I was talking about with, like, not going to school, but y'all dedicated yourself to something else, to get to y'all where y'all are now. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So just kind of find something and sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing for me was, especially with relationships, or at least with like as a guy, is that when it comes to women, it's like the trap door that's always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Because you can fall into that. You can fall into it so easily. And how many guys have you seen get trapped in that mindset of just like always needing to be with a woman? You know what I'm saying? Not even like like not even like on the like point where they're doing them, you know what I'm saying? Where it's always like that's the end all be all, you know what I'm saying?
They gotta be with a girl at all times.
Exactly. Or like even if you go out somewhere, like that's the mentality, like, oh, I gotta leave with somebody tonight, Yeah. Even before you get there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just like it's a trap door. It's always gonna be there, and it's like, again, that's what I was talking about earlier, like staying on your shit. Is that like you're always tiptoeing around that trap door. And there's always gonna be something coming out of that trap door too. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. You can either fall into it, but there's always gonna be something coming out of it too. So, but like you said, you always gotta do you, and always be on your stuff. And I really, looking back on it, it was when I was at Blinn, when I played football for a little bit, and that was like when I realized how much you need to dedicate yourself to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And not get distracted with everything else,
Sure. No, for sure. Like, I feel like that was probably, like, a big thing I learned, like, out of, like, long-term relationships is, like, whenever you get, like, comfortable or you put somebody else first for, like, so long, you, like, forget how to put yourself first. Mm-hmm. And it feels, like, selfish at first. But, like, once you start putting yourself first, you're like, oh, wow, like, this is actually, like, changing me. It's making me happier. It's making me feel better. Like, it feels good, and that doesn't mean you're, like, selfish. You're just
working for yourself.
Yeah, you're just trying to better yourself. So, and maybe the end goal is not finding a relationship, but
Mhm.
you're working on yourself to find happiness. So maybe that ends up in another relationship that, so you'll just be
Love
better
will
for the
find
next.
you.
Yeah, you'll be better for the next person. Like you don't want to constantly look for love, or, I mean, you can if you want, but yeah, I feel like with the right person, it'll just find itself.
Exactly.
And you'll be happy. It's the harder you look, the harder it is to find someone. You just kind of gotta let it happen, and if it does, then it'll work out.
Just be patient.
And just really know what season you're in too. Know what season of life you're in, and where you're at, and just knowing how to navigate. I mean, that comes back to the self-awareness thing, just always being aware and being conscious of what's going on and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of people in long-term relationships, though, they lose that self-awareness.
Yeah,
they're only aware of the other person.
Relationship weight.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ever heard relationship people getting relationship weight or
Relationship 15.
yeah, stuff like that.
It happens.
Mm-hmm. Even for college freshmen, people say the freshman 15 of you stop working out or stop doing stuff in high school and stuff, and then you get to college and you're just studying and partying and everything, and you end up kind of losing yourself a little bit. They call it it's a freshman 15 or whatever.
Freshman 15.
I was like, bro, I'm not gonna do that shit. Some people, again, it's mindset. You know what I mean? And not everybody's built the same. I think that's what everybody realizes, doesn't want to admit, because everybody wants it to be equal. So everybody's equal. Everybody's not equal.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing of anybody's better than anybody else. It's that nobody's equal to anybody else. I mean, we're all humans. You know what I mean? But I mean, when it comes to actual intangibles, there's a reason that we're sitting here doing a podcast and other people are doing other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah. Any questions from you? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we had so many
I know,
before we hopped on, and I'm trying to remember the categories.
Cause we were talking about I was talking about when I felt the last time I really felt free. We were talking about just basically just not giving a fuck as general. And
Oh yeah, and how sometimes you feel more free in a different country, and but how you were saying is being yourself attracts people, and so I feel like I'm more myself in a different country because I don't give a fuck what people think about me, but I need to use that and just to my everyday life, and then I'll attract somebody here.
You don't have the same confidence there.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you have more confidence there versus
Just
here.
Yeah, but in the end, it's all just a mindset. It's not because I have more confidence there than here. It's just I choose to have it there. So you just choose to have it wherever you want.
And see, some people think it's a different thing of and it's a little bit of being in a different country, because sometimes okay, and this is one talking point I agree with from some podcasts, is that other countries, their social dynamics when it comes to men and women are a lot different than it is in America, or modernized countries, so to speak, and how where I guess women have more right. Well, women have rights, and have access to make money the same way as we do, in more ways than we do. You know what I'm saying? And so then we have the Women's Equality March, and that women are equal to men. But again, going back to what I said earlier, nobody's equal to anybody.
Yeah.
We're all different. Not as a bad thing, but just that's how we're made. We're all human. We all have the same basic needs of needing food, water, somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
And so, other than that, and I think that what is told a lot of our society now is that that's why a lot of people are combative with each other when it comes to this relationship stuff. You know what I mean? Is that a lot of people see oh, I'm equal to a man, I can do whatever, man. It's I mean, yeah, you can, but it's it's not a thing that women have a role. It's just that what are women more likely to do? And it's not it's women are more likely to raise a family and do and stuff like that, rather than to get jobs and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you can't. You can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just that it's not that it's a woman's purpose or anything like that. It's just a natural again, when I talk about Y equals mix plus B, it's a function. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a function of being a woman. It's having a baby. You know, not that's all you are.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
but
like an
that's just
instinctive thing.
it's an instinctive function, and it's instinctive function in guys to want to impregnate women to have baby. It's a function. It's just basic. It's nature. You know what I'm saying?
Science.
So
It's-
like the norms to provide. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So it's like not a bad thing. Girl can provide too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can be a stay-at-home dad, do whatever you want. Like just like women back then, they could go hunt, or you know, it doesn't matter. But it's just like what naturally happens. Like I don't know. What I'm going
Even,
No,
well, even
yeah.
then, like lionesses hunt for food.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm trying to get me a lioness. Hunt for my food.
See, I think someone hit a nail on it with another podcast of like tigers versus lions, and a lot of what's going on now, because male tigers and female tigers only ever come together to mate, to breed, and then that's it.
Yep.
But then like lions, they have a whole pride. You know what I'm saying? There'll be like one or two male lions, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 female lionesses, and a bunch of cubs. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it's just kind of like, well, because lions are together. You know what I'm saying? And tigers are not. And so, in the analogy with our society, a lot of us are tigers, or a lot of people act like tigers, but also want to be lions. You want to be a tiger and a lion at the same time.
Yeah.
They actually you can't. There's a liger,
Oh yeah, there's a
but they're fucking slow as shit. They're slow as shit, and they're not.
They're just pretty
optimal.
looking.
Yeah, they're not even. They're just big, and they're just not. It's not optimal animal. You know what I'm saying? It's an inbreed. It's an inbreed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I think that's a little bit of what goes on. A little, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
little inbreeding.
No. I'm talking about people acting like tigers, but wanting to be lions. And I think that like when it comes to like an archetype of a guy, there's guys who are a lion and can be a tiger. Because also there's lone lions. That's what people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But more often than you're never gonna see a female lion alone.
She always got her pack.
Exactly. Or pride.
Pride.
Exactly. You're never gonna see a female lion alone, but you'll find a male lion alone from time to time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's possible. Now, again, go back to tigers. A female tiger, you will find alone unless she has cubs. A male tiger, you will always find alone because they only come together to mate. You know, and so like again, going back to society, you know, that's how it kind of goes. And so with people thinking like, oh, relationships are bad, they're like, no, relationships can be a good thing. You know, but also if you're single, if you can have fun and be a tiger, be a tiger. But also if you're a lion, be a lion. Some people can switch between. Some people like to be in relationships, you know. Some people just like to be in a relationship and just like, hey, it's not for. They know it's for them. Hey, you know, like hookup culture is not for me. You know, I'd rather just settle down and just be with one person. And if it doesn't work out, you know, hey, we move on. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be because there are people who are serial daters. You know what I'm saying? Who just cannot.
Serial dater.
Yes, believe it or not,
They can't be alone.
can't be exactly.
Oh,
You know,
I
you can't be
see.
alone with and if you can't be alone with yourself, you're in bad company.
No, for sure.
Exactly.
I don't think it's right to just like move on like to the next girl. Like
Like as
you
a
know,
distraction.
it needs to like mean something. I mean,
Exactly. You know, there's just no real. I mean, that's just us. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, to each their own, obviously. But you know, for us, there's no real. I mean, at least for me, there's no real point in just like for at least relationship wise. You know what I mean? To jump from just person to person to person like that. You know.
just have friends with benefits. Like,
You know, just make it work. I mean, like, again, be honest about it. You know.
no, yeah, definitely
That's
be like
true.
forward.
Mhm.
But like if you want more than that, but like that's why like I think I'm big on like not wasting time. So that's why you just gotta like lay it out there. And
Mhm.
if they don't want that, then that's cool. But like if I had the option of like friends with benefits or something, I don't think I would take it. I'm
Mhm.
not that. I think that's a big thing. Like if I want to be with somebody, like I'm gonna get like pretty emotionally attached. And I don't think that's bad. I think if it's the right person, it's good. And there
You just
can be
gotta
some like
know.
negative things with that, but and like you shouldn't get emotionally attached to everyone. But if
But
you
if it's
find
the
the
right
right
one.
person, then it'll just naturally happen. What do you? Okay, I got a topic. What do you think about opposite sex friends? So like, say you're like within a relationship, or like someone you're like really want to be with or really talking to.
You really care
Like, where do you think you draw the line with, let's say, a female having a male friend, or vice versa? It doesn't matter which one it is. What's your opinion?
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know, man, because there's just, in some situations, there's just like, you just don't know what other people are thinking. You know what I mean? And like, again, it comes back to being honest, with, okay.
I think there's always sexual tension no matter what.
Unless there's not.
Yeah.
Unless you actually like somebody just for their personality and y'all are cool with each other, then yes. I mean, if the personality's there and y'all attracted to each other, then that's like that's you know what I'm saying?
Then it happens.
So there's a
But like, let's say your girl is like super good friends with a dude, right?
right.
Right now, if you don't know the guy and she's super good friends with a guy, that's probably not like a red flag, but like kind of like, you don't know the guy, so you don't know the extent of their relationship, so it's a little sus. Would you think that's sus?
I just met her.
No, let's.
You've been like
No, you've been friends with her. Y'all are like been
hooking
dating
up
for like
and
3
stuff,
months,
or
yeah.
dating. Okay.
And you find out that she has this dude that she's like a really good friends with, and she spends time with him. But she's talking to you, but she's really good friends with this guy, and he's definitely a good looking dude where it could be a possibility.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's also a good looking dude, it's like, yeah, like, I'm not stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Because you know how guys think,
exactly.
right? And so he's being friends with his girl, knowing that she has boyfriend or whatever, but like there's always some sort of intention.
A little bit. And I mean, sometimes there might not be, and that just comes with like a level of just maturity. You know what I'm saying? And just realizing like, as a guy, you don't have to fuck everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and especially,
how many mature dudes are there?
not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. I mean, like, because we're all like, we can say we're mature, but we're all dickheads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent.
And we all got like insecurities.
You know what I'm saying?
But my biggest thing is like, I don't know. I feel like if you're in a relationship and like she has a lot of guy friends, or even if you know them and you're cool with them and they seem like good guys, like I think there's always like other intentions of those guys, because like why aren't they finding other girls in relationships, or why do they need them? And it sounds toxic, but like also I think the negative thought from like the guy's point of view that's in the relationship is like, what attention are they giving you that you're not giving them, or that makes you want to like hang out with them or do stuff with them? Like, am I not like enough for you, or what's so good about them? But then there's like a hard line, because okay, maybe you've been friends for 10 years, you know what I mean, and just a good friend. But
And every now and then there's like a little bit of like a, say like a girl's single and like y'all been friends already, and then like she gets in another relationship. There's a little bit of that, like, I guess as a like, comes with a confidence thing. I think a little bit as well, of like, as a guy, like how do you like, especially if you already been friends, how do you just like, hey, like, like how do you bring that up, without making it seem awkward, because A, you don't want to get rejected, B, you don't want to fuck up the friendship, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
you don't want to seem insecure.
Something's got to give with that one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can either just put your pride aside and just say, hey, it may or may not happen. If it does happen, I'm him. If it doesn't happen, I'm still him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a level of maturity and just getting, like, being confident in yourself. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Honestly, I will say though, having fine ass friends as a guy helps a lot. It does.
I feel like it makes like better connections for you to
Oh,
find
bro.
other females for sure.
Bro, fine females run together more often than not.
That's
More often than not.
Normally,
They got like that one or two ugly friends, but
To,
they keep
every
it-
now and then, And you know, I hate that. I hate to say ugly, but it's like some people just are. I mean, it's a case by case basis. I mean, and it comes off attractiveness as well. But do y'all do the scale of 1 to 10 attraction still?
What?
A scale of 1 to 10, like rating?
We use it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what would I rate myself?
Oh no, like I mean, like where would you rate like a girl? Or,
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, I use that.
Yeah.
No,
For sure,
yeah.
For sure.
I started using 1 to 30.
1 to 30.
1 to 30.
Why 1 to 30?
It's a lot of
Splits
points.
it up a little. Not really. See, splits it up a little easier. So like, it's in like it's just off attractiveness. This is the thing is that people just think it's like, oh my gosh, you think I'm ugly? It's like, oh look, okay, it's just off of just basic features. Okay, the point system can go up after I know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like it just kind of goes. But in a 1 to 10, you know what that range is. 11 to 20, that's like average range, right? And then I think 21 to 30, that's your fine range, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't me. This is old comedian Patrice O'Neal. Gave a lot of game back in the day, honestly. But honestly, it's kind of fun, but it also kind of helps because it's like, you're not like saying like, oh, she was a 9. Oh, she might be a 10. Like, no, she's 25.
She's 20.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. It just helps me out a little bit. I mean, like, some people say, oh, they don't rate people on attractiveness. It's like, oh, you do. We all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
First
do.
thing you see is
Exactly.
attractiveness.
You know, like, there's something that you find attractive about people that you will find somebody attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, some people like blondes. Some people like brunettes. Some people like redheads. Some people like, I mean, it.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, in my head there's like 2 scales, which is probably for everyone too, but like regardless if it's 1 through 10 or 1 through 30, like you got like the personality and then you got the looks. But like you can be like a 7 in looks, but like if you have a 10 personality, that's going to bring that attractiveness up to a 10.
That's one thing.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's what
Like,
people like.
It's
Don't.
not all about just like the looks. Like you can be a 10 and be a total bitch.
And that's
You
one
know what I
thing
mean?
about-
And then you're a 7 now. But if you're an 8 and you have a great personality, then you're a 10. Like
That's one thing about the scale people don't understand is that, like, again, with the personality thing is that it's all off of attractiveness. I forgot what I was going to say with this. Damn. Yeah, no, I really forgot what I was going to say with that one. But yeah, like, personality and just, like, being yourself. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. That also goes back to, I mean, like, at least when it comes to personality, that comes to relationships. It depends on what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're just out here to have fun, then it's like, obviously, you're just like, 8, 9, if we can at least hold a decent conversation. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Or if at least, like, if you're at least down, you know?
Yeah, it's all about the end goal.
Exactly.
Like, what are you trying to get? You trying to get her that night, or is it more for the long run? Like,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And know who you're dealing with, too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to vet,
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like I'm very cautious around girls, like, because I'm looking for, like, a particular thing,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't think looks would ever, like, outweigh, like, red flags that I see. Like, I mean, but if you're into just, like, friends with benefits and hooking up and stuff, then, yeah, of course they're going to outweigh it because you're not looking for anything long term. But all people are different. Like, some people don't want to be in relationships. But
Yeah, like, it's times where I found people attractive just off of their personality alone.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I'm
sure.
like, damn, I don't even. I'm like, I wouldn't even look at you like twice, but I mean, like, you're cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's like, so people don't discount yourself like ever. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just discount themselves because they think they're a certain way and stuff like that. And it's like, don't do that to yourself. You put yourself in a box again.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Anything else, boys?
No. See what
No.
we can cut in there.
Shit. I think this was. I don't know how long this one's been.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we've been going for a minute on this one too. An hour on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, we did another hour on top of
Damn.
the 45 minutes from earlier.
I feel like this one was like less talking, honestly, or like
no, I just
I
went,
don't
it
know.
was like a lot more smooth. It wasn't as rigid. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
more in depth.
The first one, yeah, of course y'all saw the first one, but you'll see the flow of the podcast and how
Yeah,
it all
for sure.
flows together.
Yeah,
All
and being more comfortable the second time and everything like that. Like,
yes, sir. Did you want to plug anything again?
Nah, you're good. Plug these nuts.
Damn. Got it. All right, shit. All right, y'all check out the Caleb Jackson podcast and make sure to check out their TikTok and YouTube channel or anything. Not yet.
20 GTI on TikTok. That's it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
All right, till next time, boys. Peace.